edition of Parent Connect podcast. Today we're joined with Ms. Molly Muniz. Molly, I've heard so many amazing things about you.
Thank you.
So we're just going to dive right into it, right?
Sounds
so
good.
You have an interesting story. You started your career as a teacher, and then you transitioned into behavioral health. Can you share a little bit about what made you make that transition?
Absolutely. I spent 11 years in a neighboring district and loved it, loved the kids. I began to get a bit disenchanted because I saw so many other needs of the kids in my classroom. They were hungry, they didn't have clean clothes, they were residing in extended stay motel rooms, and I kept thinking to myself, I can't bloom until I'm Maslow. They have all of these needs that need to be met, and I didn't feel at the time that I could, as a teacher, meet those needs as well as the academic side. So my oldest was 5 at the time, and I thought, okay, buddy, by the time you're 8, I'll be done with my social work degree. So I went back to grad school at UTA and became a social worker, and it's really fulfilling because I still work with children and families, but I can help meet those basic needs.
That's really cool. So, say that you work in healthcare now, right?
Yes.
So, what are some common misconceptions about mental health that you would like to address?
Not my child, not my family. But statistics show us it's 1 in 5 adults, and almost that of adolescents, 17%. So it is our kids. It's my children, it's my neighbor's children, it's the kids at my church, it's all of us.
So do you think technology and social media have played a role in this?
Absolutely.
For positive
Yes.
or for negative? What do you think?
Well, positively, it does promote a sense of connection. My 9-year-old spent kindergarten, that was our COVID year. So he connected with his classmates via the laptop. And so I see that sense of connection kind of continuing. But this morning on the Today Show, the Surgeon General put a label on social media. And he said, it's time for us to really pay attention. That adolescents that spend 3 hours on social media have double the risk for anxiety and depression. It affects sleep habits, body image, personal interactions, and so it's definitely something that needs to be monitored by parents, and it's all about balance and moderation.
I'm glad you said that because a frequent question that we've received this year from our families is, when is it too early to start? Or,
Sure.
So I think it's good that you said just balance it and make sure that you keep an eye on it.
Yes.
So I know your work is based out of Connections Wellness. Can you share a little bit about what you offer and how parents who may be in need of assistance reach out?
Absolutely. So we offer individual therapy as well as medication management for kiddos and adults, but what we really specialize in is our group therapy. So you may have heard the acronyms PHP-IOP and wondered what they are, because just like education, mental health has our own acronyms.
Yes.
So PHP is partial hospitalization program, and IOP is intensive outpatient. And that's a day program that's 9 to 3. They get 4 hours of intense group therapy, 2 hours of school, and during that time, our medication management provider and our registered nurse are rounding as well to make sure everything's good from a medication standpoint, if the kiddo is on medication. Our Mansfield clinic does only kids, so that's our specialty and our niche. And I'd like to mention that I'm still a certified teacher and I'm passionate about education. And so we have access to T-Rex. We can put the grades in and attendance. It makes it a lot easier once a kiddo completes our program to share all of that great progress with their home campus.
That's good to know. So let's talk about parenting now.
Okay.
How do you cope with stress and anxiety in your daily life?
That's a great question, Sandra, and I think we need to extend grace to ourselves because some days are better than others. On a good day, I wake up with prayer. I use my adult coloring book that they have really cheap at Five Below.
Yeah.
I spend time on my front porch without a device in front of me. On other days, I think, oh my goodness, when is the last time I took 10 minutes just for Molly? And so I think we think it has to be this big vacation. No, it can just be small little moments throughout your day where you practice some gratitude and some mindfulness.
That's really good advice. Do you have any tips for us parents that may help us as we decompress through our day, I know that I'm a working mom and I have a toddler,
Yes.
and sometimes it's hard just to find
It
that
is
time
hard.
to decompress. So what would you suggest to us to help us decompress?
So one of the biggest things I notice when I pick my own 3 kids up from school is I'm eager. How's your day? What did you do? What did you learn? Da, 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 da. And they're just looking at me like, Mom, we've been answering questions all day. So a colleague of mine was like, Molly, no, you got to give them time to decompress, just like you said. So now when I pick them up from school, I'm available if they want to chat, but normally I wait about an hour and a half. And then they come to me, hey Mom, this happened in PE. Hey, I did really good on the spelling test. So don't bombard them with questions right when they get in the car. Your intentions are good, but they're tired. And when we get home, it's nice for me to have a little bit of time to leave work at work and then focus on my second shift of the day, which is the most important, right?
Parenting.
Yes.
That's right. So can you speak to us parents on the importance of just listening? And what does that look like?
Yes. Often parents will say, Molly, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing. What do I say? I need a script. No, you don't. Just provide that safe space and listen. And it's hard. And it takes a lot of practice and intentionality, but just try it, you know? And sometimes they'll talk about things that don't really interest you, right? And you're like, oh man, I don't want to hear about it. I don't have any interest. But it's important for you to listen for those little things, so when they have the big things, they feel comfortable talking to you as well.
That's good. So Molly, in closing, what advice would you give someone who is struggling with their mental health, but they may be a little hesitant to seek help?
You deserve it. You're worth it. It's scary, but you're already doing really scary things and overcoming it each day. And so we're here, non-judgmental. Any mental health provider is going to welcome you with open arms and help because we feel it's our calling. So make that first step and give us a call or visit a website and find the help that you deserve.
That's good. If you could share one parenting tip that has really impacted your life, what would that be? What do you want to leave our parents with today?
It can't all be done in a day. I've heard a lot of great things. You know, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family, from Mother Teresa. And I love that too. It puts it in perspective. But I always think of one time when I called my own dad, overwhelmed, cleaning my toddler's room. And I said, Dad, how did Granny do it with 10 kids? And he said, well, Molly, she didn't sit and clean our rooms.
Yeah. Right.
And it just put it in perspective and resonated with my heart in that moment of keep the most important thing, and do what you can each day. And that as parents, we have the jobs of many occupations rolled into one. So, you know, you kind of triage the needs of the day, and what you don't get today will be waiting for you tomorrow.
That's it. Molly, thank you so much for your time for coming out and sharing with our parents today. And parents, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.